Hello there. Welcome to Adobe Lightroom class. If you are interested to learn photo editing using Adobe Lightroom, then you are in the right place. Together we will learn photo editing from beginning to advanced with the latest version. This is a beginner level class. You will start learning from the very beginning. You will learn all the basic skills from this class: link interface, panel, preset, color, export projects, and many more. So once you will complete this class, you will have all the basic skill of Adobe Lightroom. So let's start learning Adobe Lightroom Pro together.
Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Lightroom. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you will be able to filter your photo visually and also by Adobe Lightroom folder and also your specific type of photo so you can find it. Okay, so first off, if you want to filter your photo, you're going to obviously need some couple of photos in your Adobe Lightroom, right? So first off, I'm going to do is import my photos and then give you a brief, and then later on I'm going to show you or tell you or give you an example of how filtering actually works. So first off, I'm going to import my photo from clicking on import, and what I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to have my photos over here, so I'm going to just import both of them. So I'm going to click on import and both of them will appear in my Adobe Lightroom. Okay, as you can see, there are also previews of how it actually works. So as it is over here, first off, what I'm going to do is obviously filter them one by one. So first off, you can see that they have also appeared over here because this is where the sync data appears. So first off, if you want to know how you will be able to filter, is going to be going to your view, and you can see that this is the way how you will be able to do it. First off is going to be how you will be able to filter your photo in such a way so that you can find it, and later on is going to be the filtered method of how you'll be able to change your photo how it actually looks. Okay, so first off, in the filter library filter bar, select the attribute. Okay, click an option to filter the selected photo by flag status, edit status, star rating, color label, or copy. The photos with the specific filtered criteria appears in the grid line and film strips. Okay, so this is very basics and how do you use filters in a Lightroom. Okay, so there are a couple of ways how you will be able to make your own presets too. So presets are also termed to be as filters. Okay, so if you want to do that, just go into the development module and Lightroom, and on the left hand side click the plus button next to presets, which you are going to do. Or that's a bit complex, then what you have to do is click the option which is going to be create presets. Then you will be able to do it. Okay, then make your own type of presets. That's going to be up to you, but I'm not going to show you all of those because those are going to be in advanced level. So I'm just going to show you the basics of how you'll be able to make some differences by using effects, and later on the filtering criteria in Adobe Lightroom so that you can find in your specific type of photos in Adobe Lightroom. So first off, you have to go to the library module. Okay, it only works in the library module. So are there any filters in Adobe Lightroom? So with Adobe Lightroom Classic and Adobe Photoshop, you can create your own preset filters and transform your photos or images into such a way so that you can imagine, or you can use those filters. Okay, so where is this filter menu in Lightroom? So you have to access the filter bar, which I told you in view. Okay, so keep this to be turned on or marked, only then you will be able to see the filtering. Okay, first off, let's go through the way of how you will be able to filter those by using effect tab. So first off, what you're gonna do is go to develop and then go down, and you can see that there is this effect tab. From here you can select on the photo. First off, you have to select the photo, so I'm going to do is select this photo, and then what I'm going to do is going to be develop module, and then select on the amount, midpoint, whichever one you want, select it according to your need, and then let's say I'm going to keep it like this and make sure I'm going to make it to be a grain bit, so then I'm going to increase the grains and increase the grains more. Okay, and I'm gonna do is decrease the roughness, so this is more visible. I'm gonna increase or decrease the the list, and you can do a lot more than that. You can change the details too, but I'm not gonna do that, so I'm gonna keep it to be something like this, and that will be actually it. Later on, what I'm gonna do is go to the library module, and then what you're gonna do is going to be zoom out of it, and then like right click on the photo where you will be able to do it. Then what you're gonna do is select the flag. Let's say I'm gonna keep it to be flagged, and what I'm gonna do is set rating to be 5 stars, okay, but not this one, but only this one. And what I'm gonna do is change the color label to be, let's say, blue, and you can see that this is termed as to be blue. When you click on this filtered option, or like you have to turn it on first, and then when you click on this filtered, then let's say I want flagged options, you can see that among both of them it has found out the type of photo which I needed. Even if you select like 5 stars, let's say I want only the photos which are 5-star rated. So as you can see, 1 star and higher, so only this photo is higher, so this photo is found. But that photo was not like any type of rated, or like not filtered, so because of that it was not shown in the filtered option. Okay, so this is how you will be able to, you know, filter your photo in Adobe Lightroom in such a way so that you can find it and be able to access it and then make changes to it visually and also edit it. Well, another thing you have to keep in mind, that make sure to use the newer version of Adobe Lightroom so that you don't stay, you know, backdated or, you know, off from the tools which the newer version has. And another thing you have to keep in mind, that when you go to metadata, you will also be able to see all of those values, or like, you know, details. Let's say date, then the camera, then the lens. Well, both of them are of the same lens or unknown lenses, which I see over here. So then we have is the blue label and the no label, which you can see. Well, you can also filter those like values. Like custom filter, you can also do the camera info. Well, everything can be filtered by using these options. Well, if you want to make changes to, let's say, lens, let's say you can like add in your own lens or whichever lens you used. Well, everything is going to appear over here, even the metadata, then all of those. So this is like, you know, the info or the section where you will be able to get all those details. Okay, then we have is the attributes. All of them are going to appear over here. Then we have the text. Okay, so this is it on how you'll be able to filter your photo visually and also make changes on it in such a way so that you can find it. Okay, so hope you guys like understood everything in this lesson on how you'll be able to filter your photo for selection. So thank you for watching this video and staying with us. Another thing you have to keep in mind, that you can also rename your photo in such a way so that you can make changes on it, you know, or select them one by one. So you can like click on F2 and you will see that an interface like this will appear up. Then you can change your name according to your desire and then just press on OK. Well, as you can see that I have 2 of my photos just as I showed you, and this is like actually it on how you will be able to, you know, actually filter your photos and select them. But there are a couple of ways like how you'll be able to filter your photos too. Okay, first off, what you're gonna do is go to develop, and then you can like select the photo first. Let's say I'm gonna select this photo, and as this opens up, what you're gonna do is change them according to your desire. You can also see that in this collection there is also a section called Smart Collection and Filter Collection. You can like, you know, like increase that, and you can see in the 5-star there is only 1 photo because I termed that to be 5-star. You can see over here. Well, I can increase or decrease the stars from here too, which you can see, but I'm going to keep it to be 5-star. So I'm going to keep it to be 5-star and then, you know, select on. When I go to develop, you can like see the past month which I used, which is over here, then the recently modified ones, then the video files which I used, then the without keyboards. Well, all of those are going to appear over here when you select them. Then you can add in or make your own preset by clicking on this presets and then selecting all of those. Let's say you want to use any of these, you can just select on the ones. Let's say I want this one, you would say I want this one. You can like also use this one to be, and let's say I want to use this one or this one. So this is how you'll be also able to use filtering in your photos. So this is like very simple on how you will be able to add in like filters or presets on your specific type of photos and Adobe Lightroom. Well, this is also quite the same on, you know, how you will be able to change those visually filters or visual filters in such a way you can imagine, right? You can see that in this preset section there is like a lot of these filters which you can use, but if you want to make your own ones, you can also select on create your own, you know, filter or preset. Okay, let's say I'm going to click on this and you can also create your own preset, and you can see that an interface like this will appear up where you will be able to change in your own filters one by one. Okay, so this is like very simple on how you'll be able to do it. What you're gonna do is just preset, change the name. Like let's say I want to name it to be BWB. Okay, I'm gonna keep it like this. Then we can like select on the user preset. Then you have the auto settings. Then you have, you know, settings whichever you want. Let's say you want manual transform, you want upright mode, you want like distortion, you can also do that. Then all of those methods or all of those tools will be available when you select or keep it, you know, marked. And after it's done, just click on create, and that will be able, or like that will be, you know, visible in your whatever you say in your, you know, like let's say user presets. I'm gonna click on it, and you have BWB. When you click on it, and you can see that this is quite the same as that one. When you click on these, you will see that you will see a lot more of these differences, okay, when you get a preview of each and every one of them. So this is like very simple on how you'll be able to change the visual filterings. But it's like when you have like a lot of photos in selection, what you're gonna do is just go to that library and then right click on it, and from there what you're gonna do is set flag, set rating, set color label, and you will see that it will just, you know, filter on. So let's say I'm gonna color label to be as green, and this is filtered. I'm gonna like rate this to be, let's say 3-star, and that is a 3-star. What I'm gonna do is go to metadata, and then from here custom filtering, I'm gonna do is, let's say, flagged. Okay, this is only flagged, but that one was not. Then I'm gonna do is click on rated, and this is also rated. I'm gonna do is click on green, and only the green one will like appear over here. If I click blue, only the blue one will appear. Not like, let's say I want only purple ones will appear over here. Okay, let's say I'm gonna do is, what was like the color of the swan which I had over here. So that one must be something like let's say I'm gonna go over here to the flagged ones. This one is supposed to be blue, but let's say I'm gonna go over here, and then from here I'm gonna do is click on blue. Oh, and then you will be able to find out your blue one, or whichever color you prefer. Let's say if you want 5-star, you can also select this 5-star labeled blue. Well, then it will appear over here. If you want 1-star, only the 1-stars will appear over here. Let's say I want flagged. Okay, and now you can see only the flagged ones will appear. Okay, so this is how you will be able to format like in such a way, or like filter your photo in such a way for that you can select your photo and then make, you know, differences on it or make changes on it. So this is how you'll be able to change or filter your photo visually, and also in such a way so that you can select them and also worked on them. Okay, so hope you guys like understood everything in this lesson, and thank you for watching this video. Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Lightroom. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you will be able to, you know, get to know about the interface on how Adobe Lightroom works, or Adobe Photoshop Lightroom works. And later on, I'm going to show you how you will be able to import your photos in, or like import your photos and videos in Adobe Lightroom. Before getting into the lesson, I'm gonna give you a brief and short brief of how Adobe Lightroom works, why Adobe Lightroom is used, and what is Adobe Lightroom. So Adobe Lightroom, or officially known as Adobe Photoshop Lightroom, is a piece of image organization and image manipulation software developed by Adobe Inc. As part of the Creative Cloud subscription family, it is supported on Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, and tvOS such as Apple TV. So, what is Adobe Lightroom used for? One of the Lightroom's most important feature is image management. Many photographers begin the editing process with Lightroom because it excels at handling large amount of photos, so you can get more work done more quickly. You can also effectively or efficiently organize, manage, and find photos in a library like catalog. So what is the difference between Lightroom and Photoshop? So Adobe Lightroom offers raw file processing and non-destructive editing for photos, while Photoshop offers various layering tools as well as powerful batch editing features. Here in 2023, Adobe offers a photography plan with online storage space, which includes both Lightroom and Photoshop. And yes, Lightroom is free. It is available on iOS and Android, and also Windows, Mac OS, and like Apple TV too. So in Lightroom for mobile includes free Lightroom presets, all the capture, organization, and sharing features, and most of the editing tools. So what is Lightroom in photography? So Lightroom is non-destructive, meaning it doesn't make changes to the original pixels and image, which can be irreversible. Lightroom features a variety of tools for processing and storing many image files, making it more efficient for those who edit many photos at once. So, without any further ado, let's just show you how the interface of Adobe Lightroom works, and later on let's show you how you will be able to import your photos and videos in Adobe Lightroom. So first off, when you open up Adobe Lightroom, your interface will look like this. And keep that in mind to use the newer version of Adobe Lightroom, because it will allow you to have all the tools which you need in the newer versions of the newer software. Okay, so first off, as you can see that at the top there are also some ribbon or tab type of features. Well, this might look a bit, old in, Windows, but it's a bit, like looks a bit more advanced in Mac OS. But both of them actually works the same. So first off, as you can see that there are tabs. First is the File tab. From here, you can open up new catalogs, open your recent works, then import your photos, videos, then tether your capture, export, import, email your photos, plugin, whichever you see over here is going to, be available over here. Then we have is the Edit tab. In the Edit tab, you can see that there are some basic editing, tools, which is undo, redo, cut, copy, paste. Then we have select, then invert selection. Then we have is, selection of flag, rating, color label, preference, well, all of them. You can also edit your watermark through this tab. Then we have is the Library tab. Well, this is basically the basic, tab of how library actually works. It's just gonna help you to, make new collections, smart collection, then new folders, find, filter, preset, flag, rating, color label, kind, metadata, show photos, and etc. Then we have is the Photo tab, where you will be able to enhance, edit your photo, rotate, and get the basic tools, remove photos, select photos, and all of those keywords, color label, set flags. Well, all of those are going to appear over here, but I'm just not going to show you all of those, because I'm going to go in step by step, lesson by lesson, and then show you how it actually works. Then we have is the metadata. So the metadata type of tools are going to appear over here. Well, this is a bit, complex, but I'm just going to show you all of it, step by step. So stay with the, lesson, and you will get all of those. Well, you will be also able to, import and export keywords through this, tab. Well, you can also get those inside of, Adobe Lightroom, but I'm just going to show you how these tabs actually work. Then we have is the View tab, where you will be able to organize your, Adobe interface on how it actually works, and how, if you want to see it or not see it, then you can like select the grid line, grid style, then grid, loop, compare, survey, people, zoom in, zoom out, toolbar, and all of those are going to appear over here. Then we have is the windows. In the windows, you will be able to see all of the windows which you will be able to select. Then we have is library, develop, map. As you can see over here, all of those are the windows: library, develop, map, book, slideshow. As you can see, all of them are over here too. Right, so this is like quite the same. And at last we have is the help bar, where you can get help in from Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. Well, another thing you have to keep in mind that it's better if you stay connected to the internet, because it's going to help you a lot. Okay, so as it is done with the tab, I'm just going to show you the interface of how it actually works. First off, as you can see, the like middle part where it is said click the import button to begin. Well, this is called the library filter, where you will be able to select whichever folder, attribute, or metadata you have in your PC. So all the photos are going to appear over here, so you can get a preview. Then at the left we have the navigator. You can select this or open this up to open up photos. If you have like a specific type of photo here, like say once, okay, or 1, all the like other photos are going to appear over here, so you can select them and you can also fit them 100% to 300%. Okay, then we have the catalog, so all the photos are going to appear over here, or all the subfolders or folders are going to appear over here. Then you can select the photos. Then we have the folder. You can select the folder where you have your photos or videos, then open up in Adobe Lightroom. Then we have the collection, where you will be able to select the collection of data, or smart collection. This is also like selecting a folder. Okay, then we have is the publish service. You have hard drive, Adobe stock, then you have also Flickr. You have to stay connected to the internet, and you will be able to see, you will find more service online if you stay connected to the internet. Okay, you can publish those works on these type of such as Flickr, Adobe stock, and also your hard drive. Well, this is like basic. Then we have is export import. Well, I'm just going to show it to you a bit later. Then we have over here is the histogram, where you will get your data or the histogram of your photo of how the light works in your photo over here and showed over here. Then we have the quick develop. Well, you will be able to make more differences in your photo through this tab or this feature. Then we have the keyword. Well, all the keyword feature is going to appear over here. Then we have is the list keyword, or maybe a bit basic of how it actually works, which is over here with keyword list. Okay, so the keyword list is going to appear over here. Just click on it and you will be able to find or filter your keyword. This is also quite the basic. Then we have is the metadata, just as shown over here. Well, everything is going to appear over here if you just select on this one. Then we have the comment. Well, the comment section is like plain simple, because this is a lot like Microsoft Word's comment section. If anyone makes a comment or you do a comment over here, then all of the comments are going to appear in this section of the selected photos. So as this is quite done, let's just show you how you will be able to import your photo. But before that, you can see this is also a section where all the synced photos is going to appear over here. Then we have the library, develop, map, book, slideshow. Well, the library is this tab. Then you will be able to get through the development tab over here. Then we have is the map, where you will be able to see the actual map of the globe and go through it, search by it, and go in, zoom in. Then we have is the book section, where you can make your own section or make your own book with cover, back cover, and all the photos. Then we have at last is the slideshow, where you will also be able to make your own slideshow. So we're going to skip that and show you just the basics of how you will be able to import your photos. There are a couple of ways how you will be able to open up your or import your photos. First is going to be this import section. Well, when you click on import, you will see that an interface like this will appear up. Okay, then select the folder or select the drive where you have your photo. First off, you can select or plug in your card reader or pen drive or even your camera and then select it directly from there. But you can also do is select the drive where you have your photo. So I have my photo over here. So I'm going to do is select on this and then select all of these photos. And after you select those photos, or even if you want selected photos, just select on or keep it marked. Let's say I'm going to keep it marked. And after you're done, just click on done or import. So just click on done and all of the photos are going to import over here. Even if it doesn't, just click on import again, then select the same one or the same thing, do the same thing again. Just click on it and I'm going to do select on this one or this one. I'm going to do is click on it, click on import, and the photo will be imported in Adobe Lightroom, just as you can see that it has appeared over here. You can also do the same thing by going to File tab and click on import photos and videos, and it will also open up the same thing and you will be able to do it. Just select on the drive, select on the subfolder, select the folders, and you can also check all and uncheck all. So I'm going to do it or give you an example. Go to Steam or wherever you have it. So I'm going to do is uncheck all or check all and then do is import, and all of the photos are going to appear over here. Well, I don't have that much of a photo, but you can see that all of the icons which I had in that folder has appeared up, and all of the histogram is over here and the synced photo is over here. So this is basic of how it actually works in Adobe Lightroom, or how the interface works and how you will be able to import your photos in Adobe Lightroom. So hope you understood everything in this lesson, and thank you for staying with us and seeing this video. Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Photoshop Lightroom Classic, or also known as Adobe Lightroom. Okay, so in this lesson, I'm going to show you how you will be able to save and export your photo or video and utilize most of your works or projects in Adobe Lightroom. Okay, so first off, you have to know what saving and exporting actually is. Okay, so first off, you have to know why exporting is and why exporting is used. Okay, so first off, to save is to commit changes to a permanent state in a format that the application can natively utilize, keep the file format. And exporting is to change the data format so that other application can utilize it. Change the format, for example, from PNG to JPG. So follow this answer to receive notification. So exporting can be profitable for business, all are of the sizes. On average, sales grow faster, more jobs are created, and obviously, you will be able to utilize it more. Okay, so this is how it actually is. And why or how do I save the data in Lightroom? Well, there are also like various type of ways. Okay, you can like directly save your project or photo or video, but another way you can do is just go to file and export them however you want it in the like specific type of location or file type, and for shareable file to publish online. Okay, so that is how you will be able to do that. Okay, you can also save it individually, but I prefer exporting. So what is exporting in Lightroom? Okay, so when exporting, you can choose a photo, file name, like color space, pixel dimension, and also resolution. You can change or save export setting as presets for reuse. In addition, you can use the Publish Service panel to export and upload JPEG photos directly from Lightroom Classic to photo sharing website. Well, that is also like very doable, right? So what you're going to do is going to be, let's say first off, I'm going to import a photo, do some like a bit of formatting, and then I'm going to save it. So I'm going to click on the file where I have my photos. I'm going to select like uncheck all. I'm going to select on this one, which I mostly want. Let's say I'm going to use this one because I didn't use this one most often. I'm going to click on this one, and what I'm going to do is going to be increasing it to its full size. From here, let me just use some of the previous lessons. Let's say I'm going to add in some presets. From here I'm going to do is, let's say from here I'm going to do is click in some vintage. I'm going to select on the ones which I actually need. Let's say if I don't want that, I'm going to click on cinematic. From here, let me just use whichever one I want. So let's say I'm going to keep it to be somewhere around over here. So if I want this, I'm going to keep it to be over here. Now let's say I want to save this progress. Okay, so if I want to save this progress, obviously I'll have to save it. But if I don't save it, that progress will be lost, because that is how all of the softwares actually work. And saving and exporting is like very important in such a way so that you don't lose any of your progress. And obviously when you lose your progress while working, it is sometimes really frustrating because you have to work on it back again. But obviously Lightroom has that the tool to save it. Well, you can't actually save it by using any tools. You have to know the shortcut key, and later on I'm going to show you how you will be able to export. So if you want to actually save this project or like progress, what you have to do is just press Ctrl+S. In such a way you can see that this interface will open up saying that save metadata to file. So for priority camera raw files, metadata will be saved to sidecars files next to the original photo. For all the other file formats supported by Lightroom, JPEG, TIFF, PNG, PSD, and DNG, XMP metadata will be written into the original file. So after that is done, what you're going to do is click on Dojo again, or whichever one you want, and then what you're going to do is just press on continue. And another thing you have to keep in mind, that when you're going to do that, click on file and open recent, and you can see the file name is rlrcat, okay, which is r.lrcat. So that is the name of the file. Now I'm going to do is cut this and go to my desktop. I'm going to cut it, which I want to do is really quick, and I'm going to do Adobe Lightroom, which is also rlrcat. Okay, so it's going to take a bit of a time, and you can see like when I open it up, all of the formatting and my progress will be saved. Okay, it's gonna take a bit of time sometimes, because obviously it's gonna load up all of the data which I entered or had in my PC, or which I had in my Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. Okay, so what you can see that it has saved up my data. So as it has saved up my data, what I'm gonna do next is obviously going to be exported. Okay, but you can also do another thing like opening up a new, let's say I'm gonna open up DLRCAT. I'm gonna do is click on relaunch. It's gonna take some time. And then you can also see with that when I open up LRCAT again, or r.lrcat, that file will open up because I saved it. Okay, so this is the one which I open up, which is D. Now I'm gonna do is click on open recent again and r.lrcat. I'm gonna click on relaunch. Obviously it's gonna take a bit of time and then obviously relaunch that. Okay, so give it a bit of moment and you will see that it will directly open up. So now you can see that Adobe Lightroom is being opened, and obviously the r.lrcat is opening up, and all of the saved progress will be saved. Okay, so as you can see, all of my progress has been saved in the specific type of name of Adobe Lightroom. Okay, next is going to be exporting your photo or your video. So if you want to do that, what you have to do is go to File tab, and you can see that there is export with previous, export with preset, and export as catalog. So I'm just gonna show it to you like all of them one by one. So first is going to be export. When you click on export, you can see that this interface opens up, and from here select whichever one you want. Let's say first is going to be export to hard drive, email, or CD/DVD. Select the one which you actually need. Let's say I'm going to need a hard drive most of the time. Then select the location where you want to save it. I most of the time prefer to be saved in desktop, and like put in subfolder. You can also add to this catalog. Then select the existing file, ask what to do. Then what you're going to do is rename it. If you want to rename it, you can do that, but if you don't want to like keep it to be file name, you can also do that. But I prefer adding in custom names. So I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to add in a name of a girl, so keep it like girl, and then you can also select extension to be uppercase or lowercase. It's like totally up to you. That's like totally optional. If you are doing video, so select this video section and include the video file, then select the format and select the quality. Okay, then we have is the output sharpening. If you want to do that, just click on it. Let's say I want sharpening, you can click it to be high, screen, or matte gloss, like glossy paper, whichever one you want, you can do that. Then we have is the image scaling. If you want to resize it, you can also do that, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep it to be centimeter or inch. That's going to be up to you. Then what you're going to do is select the metadata. Let's say I'm going to do is all metadata to be saved. Write keywords as light hierarchy. I'm going to keep it to be that. If you want to add a watermark, you can also do that. Let's say edit watermark. I'm going to keep it to be LRT and keep it to be done. You can also do a lot more if you want to do it over there. Then we have is post processing. If you want to do that, you can also do that. After you're all done, just click on export and it will be directly exported to your wherever you are saving it. But if you don't, it's going to take a bit of a time and export the file which you are exporting, and then directly you can open it up from wherever you saved it. Okay, saved it or exported it. Well, you can see that it has been exported. Like, it's going to take a bit of time. Now as you can see that my photo or video has been exported. What I'm gonna do is minimize it and open up this untitled folder where I have my photo which I exported. So you can click on it or wherever it is saved, and it will just open it up according to wherever you save it. Well, as you can see, when I open up first, it was not here, but it's gonna take a bit of time to show it up, and you can see that it is taking up at least 135 megabytes because when you use Adobe Lightroom, it does not damage any of the pixels, and also when you do editing, it's going to increase the size. As you can see that I have my other ones which is over here, so I'm going to open it up as the other tool or the photo editing tool which I have on my PC, and you can see that none of the pixel was damaged. Okay, so this is exactly it on how you will be able to save your photo or export your photo in Adobe Lightroom, and this is very simple to do it. But if you can't do it, just follow these steps and obviously you will be able to do it. And you can also see the histogram, and you can also change the change the photo by changing the histogram. Okay, and then later on you can also export it according to your need. Okay, so hope you guys understood everything about this lesson on how you will be able to save and also export your your project or work, your photo or video, whichever it is, and also make progress on it. So thank you for watching this video, and thank you for staying with us. Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Lightroom, or also known as Adobe Photoshop Lightroom Classic. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you how you will be able to fix spots or remove spots, or also known as healing. And later on, I'm going to show you how you will be able to, skin retouch in Adobe Photoshop Lightroom Classic. Well, obviously, both of these, the features or work is like very important and very demanding in this modern era. Because obviously, if you want to make a photo to look a lot better, obviously you're gonna need to be able to do fix the skin healing or removing spots, and also termed as healing, and also later on skin retouching. Okay, and obviously the photographers in these days, or professional editors and photographers, use both of these to make the clients more happy and also make the photo look a lot more better. Okay, so first what I'm gonna do is obviously like include or like import a photo. So you have to keep those things in mind, that as both of these are like very demanding, Adobe Lightroom, which is like one of the most used like photo editing software, has those tools. Okay, and you have to keep another thing in mind, that as both of these features can be done in Adobe Lightroom and also Photoshop, well, this is like a very good and Adobe like good type of software, and those type of software which does not contain these type of tools to be done, well, those cannot be deemed to be a good type of software, because those are like kind of the basic nowadays. So I'm gonna do is import a photo. I'm gonna click on import, and from there I'm gonna select on the drive where I have my photo. From H, I'm gonna like select the photo. I'm gonna do is uncheck all. I'm gonna select the photo which I actually need, so I'm gonna select on this, and I'm gonna do is import this photo over here. And after, it's going to take some time, I'm going to increase the size of this photo. I'm going to do is obviously crop it. So I'm going to do is crop it. So if you want to crop it, just go to develop module and then click on crop, and it has been cropped directly. Okay, so it is already cropped. So I'm going to do is change or remove the spots first, and later on show you how you will be able to fix or like retouch the skin. And why I like told you that I'm gonna fix the the spots first and later on do the retouching, because if you do the retouching first, or like if you do the retouching first and do the spots later on, well, it takes a while for Adobe Lightroom to fix the spots, okay, later on, and detect the skin. But if you fix the skin or like remove the spots first, it is like very easier for Adobe Lightroom to fix or like scan the subject and then do like all of the works. So first off, if you want to remove the spots, there is a tool called spot removal, or you can also use the keyboard, which is just Q. So I'm going to click on this, and you can see that there is like a brush. There is going to be a clone and there is going to be a heal. So first off, what you're going to do is going to be clicking on heal, which is like more better. Well, heal is a lot more like a lot better than clone, because heal does not only work on skin but also on surfaces where you need to fix it or make it like blend or like a lot of those stuffs. So what I'm gonna do is click on heal, and then you have the brush size. You can like increase the brush size. You can see the the preview of the size, and as now is like really big. So I don't want it to be like that big, so I'm gonna increase the size just a bit in such a way so that it is like very useful. So I'm gonna click it to be somewhere around here. I'm gonna do is like zoom in a lot more. So I'm gonna do is keep it to be 66. I'm gonna keep it over here. That is like perfectly like available over here. Then what I'm gonna do is like change the feather size, which you can also do. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it to be 46, and then you can like fix the opacity. That's also going to be up to you and also optional. Now what I'm gonna do is obviously like fix the skin. So first off, what you're going to do is select the parts where the skin is has spots. So I'm gonna do is select on here, and it's going to detect the place where it's like more better. And another thing you have to keep in mind, that you should not like you do this or like drag your mouse, because that will jumble up all of the data in your the photo. But what you're going to do, if you want to go up and down, use this navigator to do that. And if you do any like faults, just press on Control Z to undo all of those, and it will be done or undone. Okay, so if you want to even like, you know, drag over this place, just click on this tool again, and then you can like drag up and down to see the area. But I prefer using the navigator because both at the same time you can see both the photos and also go up and down and also fix the spots. So I'm going to click on here, and then I'm going to decrease the size a bit more so that it, you know, perfectly matches. So I'm going to click over here, and then what I'm going to do is drag it over here, and you can see that it has detected place in such a way so that it is now a lot more better. I'm going to click on it again, and you can see the preview. I'm going to click on it, or maybe if it's not, just I'm going to press Ctrl+Z so that it is a bit more better. I'm going to do is Ctrl+Z again. I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to keep it over here, so I'm going to click it over here, and you can see it is a bit more better. I'm going to click it over here, and it will, you know, like fix the spots. I'm going to click over here, click over here, click here where I want, you know, perfectly placed. So I'm gonna do is, you know, start fixing it one by one, or like fixing the areas where it needs more fixing. I'm gonna keep it over here, and you can see the skin is like getting smoother and better, you know, just as I'm using this heal tool. So I'm going to click it over here, and when I click on this tool, you can see that this part of the skin looks a lot more cleaner and a lot more smoother. So I'm going to click on it again. I'm going to do is fix on these parts, and you can see that if it's not good, I'm going to press on Ctrl+Z to like undo that. I'm going to do is decrease the size a bit more. So I'm going to do is find out this place where it needs to be perfectly fixed. You can like zoom in a bit more. So I'm going to do is zoom in a bit more. So I'm going to keep it 66 and use the navigation one to see the whole area. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to do is find out the brush, and from here I can like select wherever I want it to be. So I'm going to click on this tool, and then I'm going to do is obviously fix over here, and you will see that it will directly scan the area where it needs to be perfectly fixed, or like, you know, clone that area. I'm going to keep it from here. I'm going to do the nose. I'm going to use this part. Okay, well, this might get a bit more dark, so I'm going to click on here, get a preview. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do is just click on here and use the tool back again. I'm going to click on this tool. I'm going to do is select on this part, and it will select the area. And I'm going to do is, well, that is like mostly done. I'm going to click on this part again. I'm going to select on this area because that area is like not perfect. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to do is going to be selecting this area where it needs to be more fixed. So I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to keep it to be somewhere around here, and you can see that it is a lot more better. I'm gonna click over here, and you can see that this is more perfectly fixed, and as you can see, the skin has turned to be a lot more smoother. And after everything is done, or like the skin retouching is done, or like, you know, the spot removal is done, I'm gonna do the skin retouching now. So if you want to do skin retouching, what you're going to do is obviously use the mask tool. Just click on this mask tool and obviously select the object first. Now what you're going to do is select the object. If you don't have the object selected, what you can do is going to be just press on this object. Let's say I'm going to do is remove this. I'm going to do is delete all mask. So what you're going to do is select the subject, and it's going to take some time for Adobe Lightroom to select the object or like subject, and then after it is done, you will see that the subject will be covered in red paint, and that will be the, you know, marked area. Well, that will be also the skin. Then what you're going to do is obviously the main part is going to be, you know, the texture and also the temperature and tint. So what you're going to do first is fix the temperature. When you see the temperature, when I increase it up and down, you will see that it will change it yellow or like blue. But from here, we're going to find a range where it will give us the perfect type of color. So I'm going to decrease it just a bit. Let's say keep it 9 or 8 minus. I'm going to do is increase it to be 4. And that you can see the colors are now a lot neutral and, you know, a lot more like good to see. Now you can like increase or decrease the exposure just as you want, increase or like decrease the contrast, then do the texture, and then do the clarity and the dehaze. Well, after that you can like select or do whichever one you want, but those are the main stuffs. So hope you guys like understood everything about this lesson, like how you will be able to do like spot removal and also skin retouching, because spot removal is like more important, and after that you can do like, you know, skin retouching a lot more easier way. So that is actually it on how you will be able to do it. And try to like fix the spots or remove the spots first, like heal your skin first, and later on do the skin retouching, so that like Adobe Lightroom is, like it helps Adobe Lightroom to scan the area or scan the subject easily and make changes on the skin and making the skin look a lot more better in various ways. Then you can also use vibrance and a lot more of those tools, but you will also get a very good type of result. So hope you understood everything about this lesson, and thank you for watching this video and staying with us. Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Photoshop Lightroom Classic. In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you how you will be able to fix texture skin in Adobe Lightroom. Well, this is like very important tool in how you will be able to do it, and most of the editors and photographers these days use this tool to fix all of the texture of skin. And in even softwares where editors do all of these stuffs, well, a software cannot be termed as good if it does not contain these tools of like fixing texture or maybe spots on making a photo look a lot better. Well, if it does not contain all of these tools, well, a software or a photo editing software is not termed as good or legible. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just like jump into the lesson where I'm gonna show it to you how you will be able to use those tools and how you will be able to fix the texture. Okay, first off, what I'm gonna do is import a photo where I can see some skin of texture. Okay, skin and texture. So I'm gonna do is click on wherever I have my photo. So I'm gonna click on here or maybe somewhere where I have it. So let's say I don't have it over here, so I'm gonna click on wherever I have my photo here, I guess. So I'm gonna click on this photo which I'm gonna select. So select the photo which you want and just import, and it will be imported to your Adobe Lightroom Classic. And I'm gonna do is open it up, double click on it, and as it has opened up, so I'm gonna do is, let's say I'm gonna keep it to be 12, or maybe let me just first off crop it a bit. So I'm gonna go to developer. Well, all of the like steps or all of the work is going to be on developer, yet I'm gonna do is crop it a bit, so in such a way so that you can see all of the differences when I make on it. So when you like done with cropping, just click on done or hit enter, and that will also do the thing. Now first off, if you want to like fix the texture of skin in Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop, first what you have to do is going to be masking the object. So if you want to mask the object, first what you have to do is go to developer mode. You want, you can use your keyboard or you can use your mouse. Okay, I prefer using the mouse. I'm gonna do is select on this, and from there what you're gonna do is going to be select subject. So I'm gonna do is select subject, and it's like Adobe Lightroom is going to scan your photo and select the subject on its own. Well, it's gonna take some time for it to scan it up. Then what you're gonna do is going to be wait a bit, and then you will see that it is refining the result, and it will be directly selected. Now as it is already selected, now you can make up or maybe format and fix the skin texture on your own. Now what you can do is going to be like very simple. Whenever or like after the skin texture or like the masking is done, it will open up an interface where you will be able to fix the texture, clarity, dehaze, hue, and a lot of it like sharpness, noise, more, diffringe. Then you can see all of those are available. Well, these are not basics because basic is over here, but as you can see, after you mask, all the same kind of things will appear over here. Well, it is also the same as basics, but all of those formatting will be done on this part only, where it is only red. Well, that is what masking actually is. Masking, what it actually does is selects a specific type of area where you're gonna be able to do the formatting. Well, this mostly works on people, and it detects the people and the skin in the photo. Okay, so as it is done, you can see that this is the part. So I'm going to click on it, and what I'm going to do is going to be, let's say I'm going to keep it to be something like this because I don't want to see it. Okay, but if you click on it, you can see this. Now what I'm going to do is going to be something a bit different. From here, what you're going to do first is going to be fixing the texture, right? So when you're going to fix the texture, what you're going to do is click on it, like keep it to be something like this, and what I'm gonna do is going to be fixing the texture first. So first off, what you're gonna do is deselect it, And from here, what I'm gonna do is going to be fixing the contrast. You can see all of the changes is being done on the just the marked part or the masked part. So first off, I'm gonna fix the texture. So I'm gonna increase the size a bit more. Let's say I'm gonna keep it to be something like this, and what I'm gonna do is going to be, let's say I'm gonna fit it or fill it. Let's say I'm gonna keep it to be over here, and from here what I'm gonna do is going to be selecting this part, and from here I'm gonna do is change the texture. As you can see, when I change the texture, you can see all of it is being formatted over here on the red part. And you can see when I increase the texture, you can see the texture of the photo is increasing and getting stronger and stronger. But when I decrease it, you can see the photo is getting softer and the textures are gradiently like decreasing and getting smoother. So I'm gonna do is find a point where it is like smooth and also like not that strong. So I'm gonna keep it to be something or like somewhere around to be like this -14 is like perfect, which I believe. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is change the clarity. So I'm gonna increase or decrease the clarity to in such a way. Let's say I'm gonna keep it to be -8, and I feel like this is perfect. Now what I'm gonna do is dehaze the photo. So if you want, like, you don't want to dehaze it a bit more, so what I'm gonna do is increase the dehaze a bit to keep it something around to be 11. Well, when it is done, what you're gonna do is going to be keep it something like this, and from here what you're gonna do is going to be change all of the different subjects or all of the different things now done. Now as you can see that the main part is actually done because it was texture, clarity, and dehaze. Well, the main part was texture. Well, that is done, but now what I'm gonna do is going to be temperature and tint. As you can see, when I decrease the temperature, you can see the photo or the masked part is getting bluish, and if I increase it, it's going to get yellow. But we don't want any of those. We want a part or an area where it will like take the photo in such a way so that it looks natural and also perfect in a way so that it gets the neutral colors. So I'm going to keep it something around to be -4 or 8. Well, it looks like a lot better. So I'm going to keep it -8. Now I'm going to do the tint too. Well, I'm going to decrease it a bit or maybe like increase it a bit wherever it looks perfect. So I'm going to keep it something around, let's say -8. Well, it looks perfect now. Now what you're gonna do is increase, decrease, contrast, highlight, exposure. So I'm gonna do is increase or decrease the exposure some. Let me just increase, no, let's maybe like decrease it a bit, just a bit. Now I'm gonna do the contrast. Well, let's say increase the contrast for like 36% or maybe like keep it around 20% because I don't want it to look like super artificial. So I'm gonna do is, let's say, highlights to be around -4, shadows to be around 13. Let's say I'm gonna keep the whites to be a bit blackish because there is a bit of shadow. Then what I'm gonna do is increase the blacks or decrease the blacks, as you can see from here. And now it looks a lot more perfect. Now you can change the sharpness, noise, more, and difference. Well, that is going to be up to you, but you can do the saturation. So I'm going to increase the saturation just a bit in such a way so that it looks a lot more natural, but has still a lot of these colors. But yet you can see that there is a lot of gray part in the photo. In the histogram tab, you can see from over here. Okay, so what you're gonna do is going to be change the sharpness just a bit so that it looks a bit more sharp. So I'm going to keep it somewhere around 20 to 30. So I'm going to keep it 28, even though it's like not noticeable, but there is a drastic change in this histogram you can see over here. Well, it doesn't get pixelated or changes the pixels. Okay, so this is why Adobe Lightroom is actually used. So now what I'm going to do is, let's say if you want to add in noises, you can also do that. So I'm going to increase the noise a bit, even though it's like not visible. So I'm going to do the more now. Now I'm gonna do is keep it to be something around 9. Now you can change the difference, which is going to be over here. You can see, if you can't see the difference, well, what it does is just defringes the photo. Now after you're all done with this, just click on done, and you will see that all of the formatting has been done. And now what you're gonna do is going to be, let's say I'm gonna keep it to be 100%. Now I'm gonna do is just zoom out, and you can see all of the formatting has been done on the photo. Well, it will take some time to actually form the photo, and you can see that it doesn't look unnatural at all or artificial at all. It looks a lot more like perfect and a lot more natural than previous ones. Okay, So what we did is, fix the texture, change the, modes, like, fixing the exposure, clarity, and all of those. And you can see that I have a better photo, or a better looking photo than the previous one which I had. So this is how you will be able to fix the texture of skin and also maintain the photo balance in Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. Well, you will be also able to do it in Photoshop, just like Adobe Photoshop, but I also suggest you use. Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Lightroom Classic. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you will be able to use presets, or known as filters, in Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop. Okay, well, both of them are the same. Okay, so first off, you have to know what actually preset or filtering is. Okay, so filters or preset are a type of filters, or like pre-built effects, which you can make or also use in your specific type of photos or videos, so that it changes drastically and makes the photo look a lot better. Okay, so like there are two ways how you will be able to use presets and also make it. Okay, so first off is going to be using pre-built filters or pre-built presets, and next is going to be how you will be able to make it. Okay, so making it is going to be starting from scratch, but I'm just going to show you both of the methods of how you will be able to do it. And why are these filters and presets used? Well, filters and presets helps a user to save like a lot of time, because all of the effects, if you want to make it on your own, obviously it's gonna like take a lot of time, right? But if you use pre-built filters or presets, that will save you a lot of time and yet make the photo or video look a lot more better. And this is like very demanding in all of the, like, let's say photographers, for editors, well, all of them. Okay, but like most of the professional people try making it on their own because they want it just like they want it to be. Okay, so obviously it is very demanding, and software, or like a photo editing or video editing software, cannot be termed as good if it does not have the preset, okay, or the filters. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson where you will be able to use the presets or filters in your photo or your video. So first off, open up your Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Photoshop, Lightroom Classic, whichever one you have. Then what you're going to do is going to be importing your own type of photos or videos. So I'm going to click on import and then select the drive where you have your photos. So I have my photos in H. So I'm going to select the photo which I have over here. So I'm going to do is deselect all. I'm going to do is use the one which I'm going to need. Okay, so I'm going to do is click on this, and let's say I'm going to click on both of these, and I'm going to do is import those photos. Okay, now you can see both of the photos have been directly applied to my Adobe Lightroom Classic. Now what I'm gonna do is going to be selecting the photo, which is going to be this one. Now what I'm gonna do is just obviously check on it and how it actually looks like on default. As you can see that there is literally no formatting or no preset applied on it. So what I'm gonna do is obviously apply it on my own. So first is going to be using pre-built filters or pre-built presets. Okay, so first off, if you want to do that, just go to develop module, and you can see on the left side there is a section called presets. Okay, so extend this preset section, and you will see that there are like a lot of these presets which you can apply in your photo or your video. Okay, so first off, it's going to be how you will be able to use your presets in a specific type of photo. First off, see the photo which type of category it is, and you can see also that there is a category of which type of preset there is. You can see that there is portraits, medium skin, light skin, then retro, then black and white, cinematic 2, futuristic, vintage, food, landscape, then lifestyle, travel 2, urban architecture, then color, creative, B&W, portraits, and just on goes. Well, there is like a wide variety of pre-built presets or filters in Adobe Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop. Okay, but if you don't have it, you have to download it via online. Well, we're gonna skip it, but you're gonna have some basic or default ones obviously downloaded in your PC, because when you download or install Adobe Lightroom, there will be obviously some of those which already belong in Adobe Lightroom. Okay, so first off, what you're going to do is see the photo and which category type of filter or preset you want to use. Let's say I'm seeing is architecture, right? And you can see that there is a section called architecture, but this is urban, but yet this is like architecture, right? So first off, extend that section, and then see whichever type of filter or preset you want to apply. You can see when I drag my mouse over these, you can see the difference is being applied to my photo on my right side of the screen, or like middle screen. Okay, but you can see that I'm just getting a preview of it, but it will not be applied, because when I drag my mouse right out of it, you can see that nothing is, you know, applied. So if you want to apply any one of them, you have to click on your mouse with your, you know, left mouse key, and only then it will be applied. Now you can see, select whichever one you want. Okay, as you can see that there is a vast amount of them, so I'm going to select on the one which I actually like. So I don't like any of the urban architecture, so I'm going to do is click on colorful, select the one which I actually like. Let's say I like this one, high contrast and details, but I can also keep it matte. So I'm going to keep it on high contrast and details. So if you want to apply it, just click on with your left mouse key, and you will see it will be directly applied to your photo. Even on here in your navigator, you can see over here the difference has been like made. Okay, as you can see in my screen. Now what you're going to do is like if you want to apply more, you can obviously apply one preset at a time. But if you want to apply like a different type of preset or filter, what you're going to do is just select whichever one you want. Let's say I want to use something futuristic, so I'm going to do is click on this one, and you can see there is also a change on them. Okay, so I'm going to use vintage instead of that, so I'm going to do is select whichever one I want. Okay, you can see gray enough, but I'm going to select on this one because this one looks a lot more better, and you can see there is a bit of grains in the photo. Okay, so this is how you will be able to apply the presets on your own by selecting on the ones which you actually need. There is another way of how you will be able to do it. So if you want to do it, what you can do is going to this plus section, or which is also known as add new preset. Just click on here, and you can see 3 more options, which is going to be create presets, import presets, and manage preset. So I'm going to show create presets a bit later, because that is how you will be able to make presets from scratch, or able to apply presets from scratch. So first off, what you're going to do is going to be import presets. Let's say you want to download or already downloaded presets, and then what you're going to do is click on import presets, then select on the downloaded file, just go to download, then select the file which is the preset, and click on import, and then you will see the type of preset will be directly applied to your photo which you have in Adobe Lightroom. Okay, then what it's going to be is going to be managing preset. Click on managing preset, and you can see that there is a vast amount of category of preset. If you don't want any of those, just deselect them, and that will be, you know, divisible or invisible from this section. So I'm going to do is classic B&W filter, and you will see that there is no classic B&W filter. So what you're going to do is just click on it again, then I'm going to do is select them back again. So I'm going to do is classic B&W filter, save, and you will see they will, you know, jump right back up, classic B&W filters. Okay, so this is how you will be able to use pre-built filters or pre-built presets in, you know, Adobe Lightroom. Well, this also works the same way in Adobe Photoshop, but that might be a bit different according to the version which you're using. Next is going to be applying, you know, preset on your own, or making preset from scratch. So first off, you're going to remove the preset. So I'm going to do is Control Z, and this is the actual type of photo, okay, which is going to be this one. Okay, so my bad, I kind of like undone it like a couple more times than I actually needed to. Now what you're going to do is just go to develop, and from here you're going to start editing on your own. Let's say I'm going to increase the temperature a bit, and I'm going to decrease the tint a bit. Exposure should be a bit less, contrast to be a bit high. I'm going to decrease the highlight, like increase the shadow. White should be a bit less, black should be a bit like higher, texture should be a bit more, let's say clarity a bit more, dehaze a bit more. I want it to be more vibrant, or maybe a less vibrant and less saturation. And you can see a bit of formatting has been directly done. You can change the tone curve whichever type of way you want. Let's say I'm going to keep it somewhere around here. Okay, now you can see that there is like a lot of type of formatting done. You can also add details, amount, you can like change the details, whichever type of formatting there is, and you can like apply any of those. Okay, so and then after you're done editing it, what you're going to do is just click here, create preset, and then it's like name it. Let's say I'm going to name it to be TRT. Okay, and then select the group where you want to save it. So I'm going to save it on my group which I already made, which is LRT. So select the group where you want to save it, then do is auto setting, or like not auto setting, then select all of the, you know, the editing or the tools which you actually used. So now if I like deselect on this exposure, then the exposure which was applied on this photo will, you know, be removed. But I'm going to keep on the exposure, so I'm going to click on this and keep all of this turned on and just press on create. After I press on create, and you can see in the LRT the TRT filter or TRT preset has been built. Now if I like click on any of those other ones, so I'm going to do is click on those, and you can see a different type of filtering or preset has been applied. But when I click on TRT, my type of preset will be applied. Right click on it or left click on it, and you can see my preset or the preset which I made from scratch will be directly applied. So hope you guys like understood everything in this lesson on how you will be able to use presets in your photos or videos in Adobe Lightroom. So hope you guys like understood everything about this, and thank you for staying with us and watching this video. Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Lightroom. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you'll be able to use vibrance and saturation in Adobe Lightroom. Well, both of these tools are very important in editing a photo or a video, okay? And this is like, you know, a tool where it belongs in all the tools, and in such days or like in our modern age, even, you know, basic like, you know, like video editors or like photo editors in, you know, pre-built ones also have those tools, because this is like a tool where it's going to belong in all of the tools or all of the softwares, okay? And it is like very important. So without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson. But before going into the lesson, I'm just gonna give you a brief or a short brief of what those actually are, why those are used, and later on give you an example of how you will be able, you know, to like use them in Adobe Lightroom. So let's just go into the lesson. So first off is going to be vibrance in Lightroom. So vibrance is a smart tool which increases the intensity of the more muted colors, leaving the saturated colors alone. Vibrance also prevents skin tones from becoming overly saturated and unnatural. So what is the use of vibrance in Lightroom? So the vibrance slider adds saturation to a photo, but it does not in such a smarter way than the saturation slider. Okay, so the vibrance is not an absolute adjustment. It protects already saturated areas or colors and color typically found in skin tones. Drag it to the left to decrease saturation or to the right to increase it. Okay, so what it does is a bit more, you know, a bit complex and smarter than the saturation, you know, slider. What it does is, you know, scans those area which is like already saturated and does not touch any of it and does not change it. But what saturation actually does, or the saturation slider actually does, is changes the saturation in all of the area, even the ones which are perfectly balanced. So first off, let me just import two photos and like, you know, give you the example of how those actually work. So I'm going to import photos and videos from here. What I'm going to do is click on the, like, you know, let's say I have my photo on a different one. So I'm going to do is, let's say I'm going to click on it. What I'm going to do is going to be a bit different. Let's say I want my photo. So I have my photo in USB drive D. So I'm going to click on it, and you can see that I have two photos over here which I previously used. So I'm going to click on them, and I'm going to do is press on like import, and those photos will be imported on my Adobe Lightroom. Well, this is going to like fetch initial previews. It will take some time, okay, and then we'll just directly apply it on my Adobe Lightroom, and you can see that both of them it is done. Now what I'm going to do is going to be not quick develop. Well, you can also use quick develop, but you can also go to develop module and like make a difference on them. Okay, first off, what I'm going to do is going to be the vibrance tool. Okay, so just as I told you what vibrance is used for, what it allows photographers to increase the intensity of muted colors while leaving the saturated colors untouched. As a result, image appears much more natural and even. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna do is select on this photo, and when this photo is selected, I'm gonna use both of the ways of how I can change my vibrance. Okay, so first I'm gonna do is going to be selecting from here. First off, let's go through quick develop and go to tone control, and at the bottom you will see vibrance. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is going to be increase the vibrance a bit first. If you wanna like increase or decrease the vibrance bits by bits, what you can do is like use these tools, okay? But if you wanna make drastical change, use these tools. So what I'm gonna do is first off, just as I told you, increase it bits by bits. So I'm gonna increase it bits by bits, and you can see that there is a bit of difference on the land which I'm seeing over here, right? like it's increasing the color and looks a lot more better, right? Looks a lot more colorful, natural. Well, not that natural, but you can see a difference, right? But if you decrease the vibrance, you can see that it is losing a lot of color, yet it's keeping some colors in such a way where the color should not, like be overly saturated or decrease saturated. Okay, but when you can see that when you increase the saturation or the vibrance, not saturation but the vibrance, you can see that it will keep the the places where it's like has a perfect saturation. Okay, so it's not going to touch any of those parts, keeping those parts untouched and keeping other parts which is like not saturated or undersaturated to make it more vibrant and more saturated. As you can see that it is making a lot of difference than the the vibrance which it had on the previous one or the default one, which is like this. But if you increase it a bit, you will see a lot more difference, and the photo will obviously look a lot more better. Well, a better way of using vibrance is going to the develop module. Click on this develop module and you can see in this section, just go down and you can see the vibrance option. From here you can use the slider to change on this. You can also use this section to type in your own, let's say I'm going to type in, let's say keep it 40, type in enter, and you can see it will be 40. If you want -40, you can also do that. Type in -40, hit enter, and there will be -40. Okay, but yet even if you keep it to be 0, you can see that there is a bit of color over here. Okay, so this is like a really bit different from saturation. Later on I'm going to show you what saturation actually is. So saturation works in a different way. Okay, so this is how you will be able to use vibrance. Now let's show you what actually saturation is. So in the color panel, use the saturation slider to adjust the color intensity of all the colors in the photo. Saturation is an absolute adjustment. It affects all the colors equally. So what vibrance does is selects the area, which area is unsaturated, and saturates those areas and keeping the perfectly saturated areas untouched. But what saturation does is selects the whole photo and changes them drastically in every aspect, and also changing the perfectly balanced one, which is a bit of a problem, but you will get through it. Okay, so most of the people mostly use vibrance instead of saturation, but you can make changes by using saturation too. So this is also a big difference. Okay, so if you want to change the saturation, you can see that there is a slider right below vibrance. You can increase it. Let's say I'm going to increase the vibrance or saturation, and you can see all part of it has been increased. Okay, and you can see when I change on vibrance, it will just increase more. But I'm not going to keep it to be something like this. What I'm going to do is slide on through each and every one of them, and you can see when I decrease the saturation to be 0 or -100, you can see that there is no color, which is unlike to vibrance. Even if I change this to be vibrance to be -100, you can see some color is still seen. Okay, and you can see over here, and even if you go down to the water, well, you might not see those, well, but yet in the beak you can see that there is a bit of color over here, right? So this is the difference of how saturation and vibrance actually works. Well, you have to maintain it and keep it perfectly balanced on saturation and vibrance. Well, I prefer using the vibrance more because it helps me in most of the cases, keeping the ones which are perfectly balanced to be untouched and the ones which need more saturation to be more saturated. Okay, but you can use both of them, keeping them both to be increase or decrease them in such a way so that it's perfectly balanced, and you will get your final result when you go through each of these tools. Then later you can change in this texture, clarity, dehaze, then temperature, tint, all of those. Well, obviously if you change on those two, it will also make a difference and make your photo look a bit might also make your photo better, but it might also make your photo not that good looking. So you have to keep those things in mind on keeping your vibrance and saturation to be perfectly balanced in such a way that your photo looks good and professional and natural and also even. Okay, so go through these tools, get a preview on each and every one of them by sliding your tool like this, and get a perfect balance of them and make it in such a way so that you can see that it is perfectly balanced and looks a lot more natural, and you will see that you will get a perfect result, or which is interesting to your eye and away. Okay, so hope you guys like understood everything in this lesson about vibrance and saturation, on how this actually works. So saturation describes the intensity of the color, which I just showed you. Okay, so and the lightness refers to how dark and the light the color actually is. Okay, so hope you guys like understood everything in this lesson, and thank you for watching this video and staying with us. If you didn't understand anything, please let us know so that we will guide you through the whole process again and follow these steps so that you don't forget any of these steps and you don't, get into a hassle. Thank you for watching this video again. Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Lightroom. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you will be able to use white balance and tone control in Adobe Lightroom. Well, these are like a very important function or very important tool if you are doing photography and editing. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just show you how you'll be able to use those tools and give you small briefs and example, okay, before getting into the lesson. So first off, let's show you or give you a brief of what white balance actually is. So in photography and image processing, color balance or white balance is the global adjustment of the interface or intensities of the color. An important goal of the adjustment is to render specific colors, particularly neutral colors like white or gray, correctly. Okay, so what is meant by white balance? White balance is still and video photography technique that attempts to render neutral tones correctly, that is gray, achromatic, without color, where white must be like super accurate. So the function that controls these color issues is the digital camera's white balance. Essentially, white balance adjusts images to make white substance look white in the final product. By making good use of the white balance, you'll be able to manipulate the tone of your picture at will. So what is the normal white balance? So a normal white balance, or the nanometer of it is, or like the range of it is, like white LEDs are supposed to be 4500, midday should be 5000 to 5500, flash is supposed to be 5500, and overcast or cloudy is supposed to be 6500 to 7500, and only then you will get a normal white balance. And you have to keep another thing in mind, that ISO and white balance are a bit correlated. So high ISO settings are useful for capturing fast action in poorly or unevenly lit situation. Taken with ISO 800 sensitivity, 1/800 at aperture 6.3, white balance. The white balance setting is used to make the colors in a digital photograph look natural under a variety of lighting condition from the histogram, which you can see. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just show you what white balance actually is. So as you can see that I have a photo over here, so I'm going to select on it and make it a bit bigger. Okay, so there are two ways how you will be able to use the white balance. First off, it's going to be the quick development tab, which I have over here. So the quick development tab, just click on it, and you can already see that I have made my preset to be custom, but you can like select on auto to whichever one you want, which is like a default setting. Okay, now you can see that this is the default, but I most of the time use custom, because you can make your own custom style on your own, but you can also use whichever one you want. That's going to be up to you, but I'm just going to do is like not use those. I'm going to make it to be a bit more different and make it to be, let's say, custom. First off, it's going to be as shot. So as shot, it's going to be how the photo was shot on default, but I'm going to click on it and press on custom. And also in the tone control, I'm going to be not auto, but make it to be a bit different, because I'm gonna do it on my own. So first off, when I click on custom, you will be able to open another new tab, which is over here, which is going to be temperature and tint. So the temperature is going to be according to which type of temperature the photo is going to look like. If you decrease the temperature, it's going to look bluish, because colder temperature looks blue and warmer temperature looks yellowish. Okay, yellowish, reddish, whichever type it is. So first off, let's just go with the temperature. As you can see that there are tools over here, which is going to be make cooler, also make cooler, make warmer, and make warmer. So the double which you see over here is going to do is make the temperature or increase or decrease the temperature like twice, then like making or like changing it by bits. Okay, so let me just give you an example. If you do this, you can see that it is getting bluer. Okay, but if you click on it, you will see that it will directly get bluer, drastically. But because I prefer, changing the temperature, bits by bit, so you can get an, perfect frame or perfect type of, temperature, whichever one you want. Okay, so I'm going to use bits by bits, and you can see when I increase or decrease it. Now if I increase it, you can see that it is getting, yellowish, so that means it is a warmer weather. Okay, but I'm going to keep it like this. It's not that warm, not that, cool too. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like this. Then we have is the tint. Okay, when I increase or decrease the tint, you will get that, or you will see that when you decrease it, it will get, greenish, and when you increase it, it will get, reddish or pink. So I'm gonna show you bits by bits, and you can see that it is getting greenish, right? So I'm gonna make it double, and you can see that it has gone like super green, and if I increase it, you will see that it will turn pinkish. You can see over here, now it is a lot pink. See, so this is how actually tint works. Okay, so temperature is tint, and tint is like both different things, so you can like, change them according to however you like. You will get a preview, so keep those in mind, and if after you're done, you can, save it as like, just as your desire. Okay, so then we have is the tone control. So what is the tone control? The tone control or tone curve? Well, not the tone curve, but I'm gonna show you or like help you with the tone, just the tone today. Okay, so the tone are simply referred to as curves or tone control by most photographer is a powerful tool in Lightroom that can affect an image's overall brightness and contrast. By adjusting the tone curve, you can make your photos brighter or darker and affect the contrast levels. Okay, so why do people use the tones in Lightroom? So I'm just gonna show you or give you 3 or 4 uses of it. So like you have to find the tone panel. Okay, then adjust the tone curve using the sliders, then adjust the tone by plotting points, then target specific tone with target tone selector, then apply the color adjustment with the tone. Okay, if you didn't get any of it, I'm just going to show you an example of how you will be able to do it. So by clicking the icon on the top left, you will be able to enable a feature that allows you to adjust the values of specific tonal region, which you can see the tonal region is going to be over here, which you see. Okay, so I'm just going to skip it because that's like a bit complex if you do it, but I'm just going to show you the basics of how you will be able to use those tools in Adobe Lightroom. Okay, so first off, there are 2 ways how you will be able to use those tools. First is going to be in the quick development tab, which you can see over here that in the like tone control, I have like right below the white balance, I have the tone control. But if you go to development or develop tab, you will see also the tone like section is also over here. But why do you see that in this tone there are a lot of these, but in this quick develop there are less? But when you click on this, you will see all of them will appear up, but in there are more over here, and in the develop there is less over here. Okay, so first off, what you're gonna do is, first off, let's just start off with the tone control from here, which is the quick develop tab. Okay, first off, you can see that the first tools are going to be exposure and contrast, which is like one of the most important thing for photographers and for editing. So you can like manage the exposures also bits by bits, and also like drastically if you want. Okay, you can see the difference is being made, and also the histogram is changing one by one when you change it. You can see even if you do it bits by bits, it's changing its histogram map one by one. And then we have is the contrast. If you increase or decrease the contrast, that is also going to change the histogram one by one. You can drastically change it, or you can drastically increase it. Okay, then we have is the highlight. Okay, you can change the highlight, you can change the shadows, but if you don't want any of those, you can stay with the basics, which is clarity and vibrance. So exposure is the brightness, okay, or like exposure. Then we have is the clarity. Clarity is a lot like making the details look more stronger. Okay, let's say I'm going to increase the clarity, and you can see that the details are now a lot stronger. Okay, but if you decrease it, you will see that the details will turn a lot smoother. See, so this is how actually clarity works. So I prefer keeping it a bit above the default level, but according to the photos. Then we have the vibrance. You can increase or decrease the vibrance, but you can see when I decrease the vibrance, the color is getting faded. Okay, so that is what actually vibrance is. If you increase it, the color will pop up a lot more. which you can see over here. Now as I increased it, you can see the color has popped very much, right? But if you want to like do a lot more, like making changes to the shadows, whites and blacks, you can also do that from here, and also from the develop tab, which is over here. And I prefer using the develop more because you will be able to, you know, add in, you know, the like the numbers too if you want to change it. You can also get those. You can also use these to get, you know, various, you know, results or preview them. You can change the highlights, shadows, whichever one you want, whites, blacks, texture, clarity, and a lot more. Okay, which you can see over here. We also have dehaze, vibrance, and saturation. Well, you can use and get a preview of them and see how it actually works. Okay, and at the end, just as I told you, where is the tone curve, where this is the tone curve where you will also be able to do it. Okay, well, this is a bit complex, so I'm gonna skip it. So I prefer just, you know, staying on these tools, but if you want more of these, you can try using this and getting your result. Okay, so hope you guys like got everything on how you will be able to use white balance and tone control in Adobe Lightroom. So hope you guys like understood everything, and thank you for staying with us and watching this video.